everybody.
So this is going to be Shields Live starting today. Give me a second here and I'll get our banner turned off. Let me hide that. There we go. And Tim is back here. He's playing incognito. He's
yes. Close. I'm not, I'm awful shy. So, hey, first and foremost, this is my first time doing something like this. So excuse me if it doesn't actually end up as perfect as I want it to be. But first of all, thanks for joining us. Again, like Jan said, this is our first Shield Sewing Live. Just something we thought we'd like to do to, bring you, our customers, or our faithful customers into our store. With the weather and whatnot here in Iowa. So every week we'll be here at 2:00. Well, Jan and I are going to try to kind of tag team this and, show a different machine, feature of a machine, accessory, just something to kind of keep engaged with all of you. We'd love for you to share, comment, and like our page, as well as this particular live. We will be, when you do that, we'll put you into a drawing to win a prize, and we'll announce that next week, same time. So we'll be doing this every Wednesday at 2:00. Might be a half hour, might be 45 minutes. We're not sure. And then, stay tuned to the end where we will have special pricing on maybe the machine, the accessory, just kind of whatever we're going to show for that day. So, really, really happy to have you here with us, and bear with us. Again, this is new to me. Jan's been doing this a little longer than myself, so there might be some glitches here and there. But yes, thank you for joining us. And I'll let her take it over. We'll make comments and we'll answer as we can.
Hey, you're going to show them what they could win?
Oh, I guess I could do that.
Remember, you need to like, share, and comment on this video. And you get a chance to win. So we're going to put all the names in a hat, and you get a chance to win a prize. So we have a really cool prize. For
this week, we do have it's a 50-year anniversary Madeira thread spool kit. There's 6 sewing threads, 6 embroidery threads, and then 6, I believe, fashion threads. So really nice set. Runs normally if you purchase this in the store, going to run you right around $60. So you can be putting a drawing for this. So yes, please do that. Again, stay tuned, because we will have some specials at the very end to take advantage of. Go to our website, things like that. So thanks again for joining us. I'm going to let Jan take it over. I'm going to go run the store. Sounds like people are calling. So I will see you here in a little bit when Jan finishes up. Thank you again.
Thanks, Tim.
You bet.
Okay, so just a second here. I have to do a couple things. You know how I do this every week. So I have to get started. My second computer started. A second. Gotta refresh my screen so I can see the comments. Although I have to say the names are coming through better on this than they do on Sew Along with Jan. So that's nice. I'm seeing people's names. So here we are. Here's a second here. All right. Get this up here so that I can see the comments. Oh my gosh, there they are. Thank you guys for commenting. All right. So I'll get that going. All right. So today we're going to feature one of the newer machines that just came out this fall, and it's called the NQ1700E. Now, this is an embroidery only machine. So if you're looking for hi, Lynn. Oh, everybody's coming in. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Betty. Hi, Margaret. Garnet found us. Judy found us. Awesome. Hi, everybody. Lisa. There's a bunch of you here. Jackie. So we just thought this would be fun, something different. I can't do this at home because I don't have every single one of these machines and stuff. So this machine is a wonderful machine if you are a new sewer, a new embroiderer. So this is an embroidery only machine that we're going to show. And it's wonderful if you're a newer person, because it's a very nice machine. It has some nice features, but it's kind of like one of the middle machines, which is wonderful. It has a couple really cool new features, one of which that I just love is the wireless feature. So this one's also wireless, even though it's a smaller, less expensive machine. It is still wireless, sort of like the Solaris and, like the 10 needle. The new 6 needles are all wireless. So I really like that feature of it. And then I'm going to show you a little bit of that at the end. I'll show you the machine a little bit first, and then I will show you the wireless feature. And this is also a wonderful machine for carrying. So if you just want an embroidery machine to carry along with you, that isn't as big as and as heavy as, say, your Luminaire or your Solaris. This one's a really great second machine, and it's smaller, and it still has a nice size hoop. So I'll show you the hoops quick before we start looking at the machine. But this machine comes with 2 hoops. It comes with a 5x7 hoop, and it comes with a 6x10 hoop. So the biggest hoop is 6x10. So that's a really nice size. If you do Kimberbell, if you do 6x10 is a very good hoop size. You can do a lot of stuff in a 6x10. So that's why this machine's so nice. Has a good size hoop, not really big, but it's a lot easier to carry around. The other thing I really like about it is it has a jump clipper. So a lot of the smaller carry around machines don't do that. So like when you do like red in one place, red in another place, there's the older machines and the littler ones, you have to cut the threads with scissors in between. Well, this one has a jump clipper on it. So that's an awesome thing. And this machine, like I said, this machine's embroidery only. They also make an embroidery sewing combo of this machine. It's called the 3700D. So they look very similar. This one's up on our website though, so that's why we chose the 1700, which is the embroidery only. Okay, so give me a second here. I am going to, let's bring my camera down here and we'll get switched over to this other camera. Give me a second. Kind of have the same setup here that I have in my home, when I do sew along with Jan. So I got to get my camera and my microphone switched over. Okay. So, got to get the screen out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right. So you should be seeing my sewing machine now. Okay. So the first thing I'm just going to show you, we're just going to do like a small demo of this machine so you can kind of see, how to put this together. It's going to be very similar most of you that I see on here have machines already. This machine is slightly different in that it's an embroidery only. So that means it does have a little different embroidery bobbin thread. So the thread for this machine is a number 90 thread. So I have that in my bobbin. I wound my bobbin, and this is what the spool looks like. So some of you have seen these spools of thread for your machine. This one is green. So this one's done with a number 90 thread. So it's a little thinner. And so this comes with the machine. Okay, a spool of this, and this is the bobbin thread you would use for embroidery. And so I wound that on my bobbin. I'm just going to go ahead and insert the bobbin. So this is how I always show everybody how to insert their bobbins if they're not sure. Make sure you put your tail on the left and make the letter P. Make it look like the letter P in front of you. And then you're going to drop this into the bobbin case. You're going to put your finger over the top of the bobbin and pull it under the little gray and around to the cutter and cut it off. Okay. So if you make the letter P, then you know you got it in there correctly. So I just, make sure you have the tail down the left-hand side when you're looking at it, okay? All right, so there's our bobbin. All right, so let's thread the machine. A second here. Put the little door back on. All right. Now this one's going to look a little different than the machine or the combination machine just because the combination machine has a couple of extra buttons here. This one doesn't sew. This doesn't straight sew. It just embroiders. All right, so to thread the machine, the very first thing, and all of you should do this with any machine that you have, the first thing I do before I try to thread my machine is I use my needle up and down button, this little button right here with the needle on it. I'm going to push this, and I'm going to put the needle all the way in the down position. I'm going to push it again, and I'm going to put it in the upright position. That way you know that your needle is all the way up, and you won't bend your needle threader. So that is very important with anytime you're using any machine with a needle threader. Okay. So I just do that before I even start. Okay. Now this is Brother thread. I'm going to use some Brother embroidery thread. I don't have, as you can see, there's no thread stand on this one. You can get one. This top comes off. And I could put a thread stand up here if I wanted to, so I could stand my threads up. And that's really the best way to do this. But if you don't have a thread stand And these work very well for the brother threads. I like to put the thread, lay it down, and technically, just so you know, technically this is backwards, but this works extremely well. You put it with the big end towards the inside of the machine, okay? And then do not put a cap on it. Leave the cap off because it just feeds right off this spool real well then. So if you get stuck sometime, you don't have a thread stand or you don't have one, this is the way you can lay these threads down. But don't put a cap on them. Just leave the cap off and then it won't catch on anything. All right. So all of the brother machines are very easy to thread. So everything's numbered for you. And we're going to thread the machine 1, 2, everything's numbered. 3 is over here and down. Okay, whoops. See if you can see it. I'll pull it a little bit back. Okay, all right, 3. Then we're going to go up to 4. And with 4, there's a little hook in there, the thing that just goes up and down. You kind of have to swing your arm to the right and then to the left, and it just slides right onto that little take-up lever. Okay, straight down is 5. And then 6, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well. There's a little notch above the needle right here, okay? And at this point, what I like to do when I thread is at that point, you notice that my foot was up, okay? When you're up threading the machine at the top, you want to make sure your foot is up. When I got down to number 6, I like to push the foot down because then there's a little tension and it's a little easier to get it in number 6, which is quite stiff actually, especially when they're new. Okay, now to thread it, we're just going to go across this little notch to number 7. Just push it into number 7, and then we're going to cut it off on the cutter. There's a cutter over here on the side. You probably can't quite see it. My camera arm's not quite long enough to go over there. And then at this point on this machine, it has a nice automated needle threader. It doesn't have a button here like some of them do, but this one has the button on the side. So I'm going to push it down till it clicks. And then it threaded the machine. Okay. Looks like I had a little spot on my thread that was frayed. So we'll just do it one more time. There we go. All right. So I have my machine threaded. All right. We've got the bobbin in. When you're winding your bobbins, of course, the bobbin winder is going to be up here. It's very similar to many of the other brother machines that you might have. Okay. All right. So that's kind of the basic little how to thread it, how to put the bobbin in. And then let's look a little bit at, let's play around with this little machine and see what we can do with it. There's some fun stuff we can do with it. So one of the things that I really liked about this, they redid this machine a few years ago, and then they added some stuff that really made it nice. So one of the things they added was some more lettering options so that you can do lettering with machines. So it's much easier. So I thought maybe we'd make a little design and then bring in some lettering, and I'll show you a couple of those lettering things that are really cool. So these are the built-in designs here. These are like large fonts. These are standard fonts. Then there's some frames with different shapes and stuff on them. And then these are the 2 built-in areas. So like this area has kind of your basics in it. And there was one that I wanted to use, but I'll have to see if I can remember where it's at. If I can remember which area it was in. So to get to the different pages, you hit these little arrow buttons. To go back, you hit the back button over here. Then these are buttonholes. These are also buttonholes that have pretty decor on them. Does it use pre-wound bobbins? Yes, Betty, it can use pre-wound bobbins. I normally recommend number 90 though. With this machine, most of the time I recommend people to wind their own bobbins because this number 90 bobbin thread is a little harder to find on a pre-wound. You can, but I usually wind my own for these because of this 90 weight bobbin thread. Okay. So that was some of the buttonholes with the decors. These have pretty decors on them. And then there's a few more designs in here. These are all newer ones. These are some of the newer ones they put in to this new machine because I hadn't seen these before. I think some of these are quilting. So some of these are like quilting designs. So you can go back and go back again. So anytime you want to go back to the main screen, just keep hitting the back button and it'll take you back. And I think maybe the design I wanted was in this one. So this is the one with the little butterfly. So let's just find it. Oh, here it is. So I had this cute little boat down here. So I'm gonna choose that. So I used my arrows to get to the design that I wanted. And here's my little boat. All right. And I thought, well, that's kind of cute. So let's set it. So we're gonna hit the set button. And then I would like to add some letters to it. So guess what? We can add letters also. We don't have to just do the boat and then do letters separate. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the add button, maybe. And I'm going to go back then and I want to get some lettering. So I'm going to get my lettering here. And let's see, I kind of like this one. So let's choose that one. And I'm going to type in my name. So I'm going to do J. So here's the upper and lowercase letters. It has numbers, and then it has some of the symbols too. So here is my J for Jan, and I'm going to go, I have to go find some of the lowercase, so I need to use my arrow keys. Here's J, A, and then let's see, the N's over here. Oops, I think I bypassed it, N. But then I want it to say Jan's, so let's go get a symbol. The symbols are in the next tab, and let's see. This is very similar to a lot of the other machines too. So just so you know, and this is the way it works for all the letters. Here they are. So there's an apostrophe. Okay. And then let's go back. And then I need the letter S. So let's go get our tab and find the letter S. So there's Jan's. Okay, I like that. So I think I'm going to set that. I just left the letters large. And then I can move this up. I can either drag it on the screen, or I can hit the move button. This centers it, the little polka dot centers it, and then I can move it up. So I want to make sure that everything's really centered. So I'm just going to use the moving buttons because then I know it's centered above my boat. Okay, and hit OK. And then I'd like another word. So I'm going to hit add again. And I'm going to get some more letters. Let's try a different font this time. To get to the different fonts, use the arrows again. Let's see, how about, oh, this one looks neat. Let's try this one. And then I'm going to type the word boat. So it's my boat, Jan's boat. Okay, so then we're going to go to the lowercase letters. I don't know why I chose a boat. I just thought it was cute. And let's see, A. How do you spell boat, guys? T. Okay, so there's boat. And then I'm going to click set. Now, so then you can see that it's down here in the center again. Well, I don't really want it on my boat, so I'm going to hit move again. And then I'm just going to hit it, bring it straight down. Like that. So Jan's boat. But this machine will let me do some really cool stuff with the letters. And some of the stuff is newer. You know, they've added some of these things in the last few years. So one of the things they let me do, so we're going to font edit. So I'm going to edit my fonts. Okay, so I'm going to hit font edit. And there's several options here. So one of the options I have is array. So array means that it can curve it. It can do like stair steps. It can do, you know, and it's cool because then I can adjust that. So let's say boat, I would like it to be arrayed, but I want it to be curved upward. So I'm going to choose this one, and there's my boat, and it's curved upward. And then I can adjust the curve. So I want it less curved, or I want it more curved. I can do that. So that's kind of cool. And then I would like it to, let's hit OK. And then let's see, I don't care for that font. So there was another button here that looks like the font button. And I can go in here now, instead of having to go all the way back and starting over, I can go in here and let's say, I really want this script font instead. So I touched that one and OK. And then it changed it to the script font instead. So that's really cool. Let's see what else. Oh, this button here is cool. It will allow me to move the letters apart. So if I thought boat was too close together, see, I can move them apart. And like I said, a lot of the machines have this, but this is one of the first ones that has all these abilities. It's really cool. Let's see. Oh, and then this one, the one that has like the big letter A and then there's a B and a C. These are cool because then I can just change the size of one letter. So let's say I want my B in my boat to be a lot larger than my other letter. So I can just move that and see I just made B bigger. So that's another way you could do monograms. So like if you're doing a monogram, often you put the center letter larger and the two outside ones smaller. So that way you could just change the size of the center. But it's really cool. So then it's all right here on the screen. So isn't that neat? So that's some lettering stuff that I thought was just really cool in this machine. Click OK. And then at this point, we can do several different things. I could also resize. I can resize things. I can rotate things. I can change the colors of things, which is handy. I can delete it. Now, also with fonts, if you notice there's a little squiggly thing here, that will allow me to actually change the density of my font. Sometimes, hi, Kathy. Hi, Betty. So some of these things will allow me to change the density. So the density of font sometimes is a little too dense or maybe not dense enough. And then I can change that. So that's kind of neat. And it only works for fonts. That only works for fonts. Okay. So then if I want to select, let's say I want to select my word, my Jan. Right now, see the red around here on boat? That's what's selected. But let's say I want to select Jan's instead. So if I hit the select button, well, now the boat's selected. And then if I click that again, so now Jan's selected. So see, now I could go back, and if I wanted to edit those fonts, I could change my font. I could change the size of my font. I could change my letters. Like if I wanted the J to be bigger, I could do that. Or if I want it to be smaller. So there's a lot of things I could do, okay, with the fonts and everything. All right, so then again, the select button allows me to select the different items on my screen. So it's pretty versatile and it's pretty user-friendly, okay? So I'm going to click OK, and I think I'm happy with that. Now, if I wanted to save this, let's say this is a design that I'm going to do over and over again, I could put this in the little pocket of the machine, and it would save it in the machine for me to do over and over. So you'd hit this little button right here, and it's going to save it. I can save it different places. I can save it to the machine. I can save it to a USB stick. And this is actually the wireless function. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to save this one in the machine so I can save it over and over again. I can sew it over and over again if I want to. Okay, are there any questions about, is this cool? It's very, very user-friendly machine. It's a great machine for carrying, especially if you just want an embroidery machine and not a combination, but they have a combination machine also. Okay, so we saved it in the memory of the machine. It's already in there. And I'm going to go ahead and edit end. So at this point, when we edit end, then I can still change some stuff. So like if I need to move it around in the screen, I want to make sure it's all centered. You can do that. You can still rotate it. One of the other new features is this cool little button. And this one actually would make it, would color sort it. So if I had, say, 3 of these on the same screen, then it would put all the colors together. So it's really cool. So like all the black would be together and all the blue would be together. Nance, let's see, what is the largest size hoop? Oh, the largest hoop for this machine is 6 by 10. So this is the 5 by 7 hoop. I'll show it to you again. This is the 5 by 7 hoop. Okay, this is the 6 by 10. The 6 by 10 is that one that's kind of rounded on the top and bottom. Okay, so that's the 6 by 10. So that's the largest one for this machine. Okay, so now I'm ready. I think I'm ready to embroider this. So we're just going to embroider just a little bit of this today. This is a brand new machine. We just took it out of the box for this demonstration. So I don't want to put any stitches on it. So I will put, I wanted you to see it sew though, because it's important to see the machine sew, right? So I'm going to hit embroidery. And then it tells me, my colors. Now the first thing it's going to sew is the boat. Well, I don't really want to sew the boat today. We'll just sew a few letters. So maybe I'll just sew my name. I'm going to go ahead and put my hoop in. So I've got some, let's go over here. for a second so you can see my hoop. So I got some felt in my hoop with some tearaway stabilizer on the back. These are so easy to put in. The hoops are the good hoops that they just slide into the little receiver, and then the little flipper flips down to hold it. So it's so easy. Okay. So since this is another thing that's awesome about these machines, since I don't want to sew that first thing, I want to sew just my letters or maybe my name, I can actually skip that first color. So I'm just going to hit this plus minus needle. And this is how you go forward and backwards in the machine. So if you need to stop, 6x10 is the largest hoop. Yes. Okay. So I wanted to go ahead a whole color. So I'm going to hit the plus spool. And then it's going to sew Jan's. That's what I would like it to sew. It's just my name. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this over here so you can see the hoop a little better. My camera arm's a little weird today, so I'll have to figure this out. Okay. So we'll get this over here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the foot down. So I'm using the foot down button. And, oh, the other thing I love about this machine, this is something they added to it. My foot is down. My foot is up. Does anybody notice anything? See how this light is green? This machine has a function, and there's a little button in the settings that I can actually leave the foot up, and I can hit the go button, and it'll start embroidering, so I don't have to remember to put the foot down. Can you use a 4x4 machine hoop in this? Yes, you can, Lisa. So this is going to sew out my name, and I just had it in blue thread. I didn't have any black. Could you, yes, Lisa, you can use the 4x4 hoop in it as well. This machine actually will use quite a few hoops. You can use up to a 6x10, so you can use the 4x4. There's a little pocket hoop that's like 1x2. That one works in the machine. The 4x4. Then there's also a 6x6 square hoop that will fit in this machine. So there's a couple of optional hoops you can purchase to go with it. So it's doing my letters. But watch this. Okay, at cut, it does a little shimmy, and then look, there's no string between my letters to cut. Isn't that wonderful? That's called a jump clipper, and I love that. I remember when this machine first came out, and Tim told me how inexpensive it was, and he said, and it has a jump clipper. And I thought, oh my gosh, isn't that wonderful? So I really like that about this machine, because you can get into a jump clipper without a ton of money, and it's so cool. Because I just really hate sitting there with the scissors and cutting the jumps. So it's going to do the letter A, and then it'll do our jump clip again. But I wanted you to see that because it is really cool. It's a very quiet little machine. This one just came out in the 1700E. The predecessor was the 1600. This one came out in, I think we got the first one around the 1st of October. It was like in late September. See, it's going to do its little jimmy, and it did the clip, and then there's no thread between the letters there. Snap hoop, yes, Lisa, the snap hoops work also. Can you change the speed of that machine? I'll show you that in a second, Betty. Yes, you can. This machine is not as fast as some of them, so it goes up to, I believe, 850 stitches a minute. But yes, the snap hoops will work in it as well. And they have and Brother has a new magnetic hoop that they made that's 5x7, and it will also work in this machine. So we're going around the end here, and then it's going to do that little jump clip again. Yeah, I really like the magnetic hoops. They work very well. Can you change the speed? So yes, Betty, I'll show you that in a second. We'll show you how you can change the speed. But this is such a great machine if you want a smaller machine to carry to classes, or if you just need a second machine, or if you're starting out and you want an embroidery machine but want to be really economical with your machine. This is such a great value, I think. It has so many nice functions, and it's not a super expensive machine. So Tim's going to talk about all that in a little bit. So see how it did the jump, and there's no jumps in there. And it's going to do the letter F. So we'll stop sewing after that, because I want to show you the wireless feature that I was really, it was so cool that they added that to this machine. So just about done. Sorry, my camera's wobbling a little bit. This table's a little bit wobbly, so I have to hold the camera so it won't make you seasick. All right, it's just about done. And then at the end, it's going to cut. There it goes, and it's all cut. There we go. So then it would go down, and now it's ready to do the next lettering, which would be boat. Okay, so we don't need to sew anymore. I just wanted to do a few letters so you could see, but I wanted you to see the jump clipping. So see how there's no letters, or there's no strings in between. Okay. Now, Betty asked about, can you change the speed of this? Yes, you can. So I'm going to show you in here how to do that. It is in the settings page down here. There's a little piece of, it looks like a piece of paper with a corner turned down. And then it's going to be on, I think it's on the second page. Yeah. So it says max embroidery speed is 850. And I can go down to 700, 600, 500, 400, 350 is the lowest it goes. So yes, you can. I usually run it, I normally sew somewhere around 700 or 800. This one goes 850, so this is not a super heavy machine, so the 850 is fine. Otherwise, bring it down to around 700. Really good speed to sew with. So, all right. Okay, so what do you think of that machine? Isn't that cool? And when I saw some of the things that it had on it, some of the new things, one of the things that I know that sounds silly, but one of the things that I really liked was this. So you don't have to touch, see how my foot is up, and I don't have to, I can still start the machine without having to put the foot down. Most of the machines, you have to have the foot down in order to start the machine. I just thought that was so cool. And there's a little button in the settings. You can turn that on. It is so wonderful. Does this machine come with preloaded Disney patterns or others? It does not have Disney in it. However, you can purchase Disney on iBroidery.com. You can use Disney in this. It just doesn't have any Disney in it. Now, the combination machine does have Disney, the one that's a sewing and an embroidery machine. And does it have a USB port? Yes, it does. So the USB port's kind of behind this. You can't see very well. It's back here, behind here. Okay, so yes, it has a USB port. Okay, and you can also send your designs to it wirelessly. So I'm going to show you that next. And I'm going to leave this here because we're going to have to come back to the machine here for a minute. So I'm done with this design. So I'm just going to hit my little back button until I get all done. If I just keep hitting it and it says okay to cancel, yep, that's okay. So then I'm going to go back to the main screen. Okay. So this was the other wow thing about this machine. It's wireless. So you can see, can you see the little icon that looks like a wireless? It looks like your wireless router looking icon on your computer. If you touch that on the screen, I'm going to show you how to set this up. It's really easy. You need to turn on the wireless LAN. Make sure it's turned on, okay? Then the next thing, and I've already done this because our password's like super long and I didn't want to have to type it in front of you. So you can see it says Shield Sewing here. That's the name of our network here. But to do that, to set it up, you just hit Wireless LAN Setup Wizard. Just touch this. Super easy. Just like setting up like a printer or something else that you would set up on your wireless router. So it's going to look for what's available. Takes a second, sorry. Our internet's a little slow here. And then, so here is my sewing, so my Shield Sewing, okay? That's the one I chose. And then the next step would be to put in your little password for your network. Is there a stylus or do you just use your finger? Oh, you can use a stylus, Betty. I just don't, I didn't get it out. It comes with it. I didn't get it out. I always use my finger. I'm sorry. But no, there is a stylus that comes with it if you prefer that. Okay. So then I would choose Shield Sewing. Okay. And this one's already saved. So it came up with an error saying that it's already saved. So I'm not going to put it in, but then a little screen comes up like this that puts in your password. Okay. So you just type your little password in that you use for your wireless router at home, and then you click OK, and you're all set up. So you can see it's blue. I don't know if you can see it too well. Let me tip it a little bit. Yeah, you can see it that it's blue. And that means that it's active. So my wireless card in my machine is on. Okay. So that's how you set up your machine. You got to do that first before you try to use the wireless feature. Okay. So then to use the wireless feature on this machine, if you give me a second, I have to share my screen with you for a minute. Okay. There's a little program, and I'm going to put the link up to it after class. I forgot to do it before class, but it's called Design Database Transfer. And it's a free program that you can go download for this. Now, if their brother and Baby Lock both have a machine like this. The Baby Lock is called the Flare, and this one's called the NQ1700E. If you get a Baby Lock machine, you do need to use the Baby Lock version of this program called Design Database Transfer. They're not interchangeable. So I happen to have the Brother and the Baby Lock one on my computer because I use both machines here in the store. So today I'm just going to show you the Brother one, and I will put I'll put the link up to both of the Design Database Transfer, so where you can go to download them, and it's a free program. It's also a really cool program because you can do other stuff with it. So I'm not going to really get into that today. I want to show you how to set it up and send a design to your machine. It is so awesome. It also works with the in the Brothers. It works with the Luminaire, works with the Stellaires, works with the 6-needle machine, the new 6-needle machine, the 680, and it works with the new 1055. So all of those machines can be done. You can send designs wirelessly with this free program. It's so cool. All right, so let me share my screen so I can bring up that little program. Second here. And I'll share my screen. Give me a second to get this up here. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see my screen here in a minute. And here's my little program. It's called Design Database Transfer. Now I'm using Brother because that's what I have for this machine's a Brother, okay? And the first thing you have to do, and I'm trying to see if there's any questions, so I'll have to turn my head to see. But the first thing you're going to have to do is set up the software, install your software on your computer, and I've already done that, obviously. But then you need to set up the software so that it can find this machine. Okay, so to do that, it's real easy. There's a little icon up here. You just go to this little toolbar, and there's a little icon that looks like a sewing machine and says Network Machine Settings. So I'm just going to click that, and this little box will come up. And I'm going to click the Add button. So you just click Add, and then it's going to search for sewing machines. And I think maybe that's all that I have that are available. So if you look at this little list, it says the NQ1700E. I named my machine that. Okay, so the other thing is you can name, I'll show you that in a second. You can actually name your machine whatever you want it to be named. I have a tendency to name them the model here in the store because I often have, multiple machines here, and I need to make sure that they all have identifying names. Okay, so I named this, and I'll show you how to do that in the machine. It's very simple. So I'm going to choose the NQ1700E because that's what this is. And I searched for that, and I'm going to click the Add button, and then I'm going to click OK. And then I am done. That's all there is. Now, if you look down here, then it says Send to the NQ1700E. Okay, so it's right there, ready to go. So this little screen has two areas. It has a navigating area, which is up here at the top, and it has a writing area, which is at the bottom. So I want to write a little design that I did the other night, and I'll show you the project here in a second because I sewed it out and I've got the completed project. We did this in Kimberbell Club Monday night. So I need to navigate to where that design is on my computer. Well, I happen to know it's on my desktop, and it's just sitting on my desktop, and it was called Snowflake Kisses. So once I clicked desktop, and then look, I can also see a picture of my design right in the software. So you know you're getting the right thing. Okay. I'm looking to see if there's any questions. Making sure there's not. Okay. There it is. It's right there. It was on my desktop. Now, the other thing I wanted to send to this machine was a couple of my new St. Patrick's Day designs. So those are in a folder. So I'm going to click this first. I'm just going to select it and then hit this little arrow. And then it's going to go down here to the writing screen. But now I'd like to go find another one. I had this new design called Lucky Us, and I wanted to do some of those. So it was also on my desktop, but I needed to go find the folder called Lucky Us. So here it is. And then I want to go to the embroidery files and the PES file. And here's all the files that are in that. So I want to do these little, let's see, I want to do one of the little clovers. I'm going to click that down to the writing screen. And then let's do these cute flowers and down to the writing screen. Okay, so here's all the designs that I would like to, at the bottom, that I would like to write to my machine. All right, so remember, this is all wireless and I don't have to put a stick in the machine. So I can, and I actually really, I use this a lot now because this is a free program. It does other stuff so I can see what I'm doing, you know, see my designs too. Does some other things. I have a couple of videos that I did on Sew Along with Jan, and also they're on YouTube that are called Design Database Transfer. So I did a couple of other videos on this that are more detailed. Okay, so now I'm ready to send this. I've got my NQ1700 down here selected. I have the little write button. Here's the write button or transfer, and then here's the delete. So like if I didn't want one of those, then I could delete it. Well, I'm going to transfer those. I'm just going to click the little transfer button. And then this little now transmitting button is going to come up. And it says finished outputting. So I'm going to click OK. And then if you give me a second, I'm going to stop the sharing and go back to my camera. So give me a second. So we can look at the machine again. So here's the machine. And let's find our designs. So here is, this is a little different too. There's no US, did you notice there's no USB symbol showing? By the way, it's in the little pocket. So you have to click the little pocket first. Remember that design we saved in the machine? There it is in the little machine pocket. Click back to go back. Here's where you would then, if you needed designs off your USB stick, that's where they would be. And then I just sent wireless ones. So here's the wireless symbol. So I'm going to touch that and look, there's my designs that I just sent over. So let's look at this one real quick. I'm going to set it and edit end. And there's my little, if kisses were snowflakes, I would send you a blizzard. So we did this on Monday night. So let me show you what that little sew out looked like. Pull this back a little bit. If kisses were snowflakes, I'd send you a blizzard. So I stitched that out earlier. Okay. And then here's the finished project. This was Kimberbell Club for January. So here's the little finished project. It was a little bench buddy. Here's the little block. And then it had a little snowman block and a pinwheel block. But isn't that cool how it just shows right up on the machine? And I use this on my Luminaire. I use it on my 10 needle. It's so cool and it's so easy. So you can see that wireless is pretty awesome on this machine. But you can still use a USB. Nance asked that if you can still use a USB. Yes, of course you can. And then there's built-in designs in here as well. More. Now let's see. Betty's question was the pre-wounds. Well, she also asked about the speed. We did the speed. What was the other thing, Betty, that you asked? There was something, Betty asked something else, and I can't remember what the other one was. Pre-wounds, let's see. We got that. Snap hoops. I think maybe I got everything. Does it have the USB? Yep, we got the USB. Okay, I think everybody answered my questions. So, okay. Or I answered your questions. All right, the stylus was the other one. Yes. So I don't have it out here, Betty. I'm sorry. But yes, it comes with one. Okay. So any other questions about this machine? Love the wireless feature. So do I. It's so cool. And go watch some of those other videos if you want to have more detail about it. And then I will put the links up on the page, the Facebook page, where you go to download them. Okay. It is pretty cool. It's very cool. I like it. So, okay. So now we've learned all about this wonderful machine. So does anybody so I think maybe Tim needs to come in and tell us how much it costs. And guess what? We have a special. Will you save today, class? Yes. This will be recorded on our Facebook page, Garnet. So you'll be able to watch it again. So if you give me a second, Tim, I'll put the other camera up so they can see you. Whoop. Hopefully they didn't get seasick me going up like that. All right, let's get the other microphone going so it's easier to hear. Okay. There you go. So now you can see Tim. He has to get in here. So he's back.
Again, thank you for coming or joining us today. We're a work in progress, so we'll continue to do this weekly. Maybe sometime we'll get a studio. That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be cool?
But yeah, so we do have a special on this. Again, reminder, get in there, comment, share, and like, and we'll do a drawing, and then we'll let you know who wins next week to get the thread set. So with this machine, we are going to throw in, we have some extra Need a Good Design stuff. So we got a full collection as well as an Express, and then an all access. So all together, you're looking around.
It's about $300.
About $300.
I'm sorry, $200. $200. Yeah.
Also, we are going to be offering free shipping on this. So I know a lot of you are local, as I was kind of watching as well in my office. So you can certainly come pick it up. But the price today's on sale price is going to be $19.99, and again, that's free shipping. And we're going to throw this in. And you know what? If you aren't local and you decide you want to purchase it, we'll also do a free 30-minute Zoom lesson for you. So obviously, if you're local, you can come in and get lessons anytime you want. If you're not, we'd be happy to do a 30-minute private lesson on this machine via Zoom or live or however. Jan can figure IT over here, not me. So
yeah, we'll do Zoom.
Yes. But again, thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week again at 2:00. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And I think next week we're going to do some scan and cut stuff.
We are going to try the scan and cut. Yeah.
So we're going to do something with the scan and cut, and we've got some specials on the scan and cut too. So I think we're going to do that next week. So come back, join us, like, comment, and share, and we'll see you next week. All right.
All right.
Are you done?
I think I'm good.
I'm done. And then you go to the website. So go to shieldsewingcenter.com, and this is up under shop and then machines. And then this machine is up there, and you can just order it on the website, and we'll just ship it right to you for free, and send your freebie, your Need a Good Design freebies with it.
And they'll be in the box with it.
Yep, they'll be in the box with it. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment, or you can give us a call, or you can message me through Facebook, and I will put those. I'll put the links up for the design database transfer. Yes, Barb, the wireless feature is very cool, but it will not work on your Quattro. I'm so sorry.
But there are other machines.
But there
Stay
are
tuned.
other options available for you.
We will do this again on another machine.
Yeah. So there's a lot of machines available that'll work with the wireless. So, okay. So everybody, have a good day.
Have a good day. We'll
Thanks for joining us for our first Shields Live. It was really fun. So, and next week we'll do some scan and cut. So, bye everybody.
See you later.
Bye.